How's it going? September 11th, 2025. It's about 3:40 in the afternoon here in Cincinnati. Um, I wanted to do this video for nobody else really other than my daughter to to look back on. Um, it's a dark day in the United States. Um, September 11th always is. Um, it's always a day that we reflect and we really, you know, thank thank God for our freedoms that we get to live in. Um, because of the events that unfolded 24 years ago, and I still remember vividly that day, and I was in second grade. Um, and while that should be the main focus today here in 2025, unfortunately, it's not because of multiple violent events taking place, multiple occasions of division unfolding currently right now in our country. As many of us know, conservative activist Charlie Kirk was gunned down yesterday at a college campus, speaking at his event, where he invites conversation between people that support his beliefs and people that don't, and it's an invitation to speak and debate. Um, Different thoughts, different uh, beliefs between the right and the left here in the States. And I know that's a simplified um, that's a simplified version of it. I know it's much deeper, but this is just coming from the heart. And this gentleman, um, early on in his talk, as he's speaking, gets shot in the neck and dies for speaking on his beliefs and with the intention of speaking his beliefs for that day. Somebody disagreed with somebody who disagreed with him going into the event planned to shoot this guy and kill him, and that's exactly what happened. Now, I don't know too much about Charlie Kirk. Of course, I've seen his videos. I believe in a lot of things that he says, and I don't believe in a lot of things that he believed, and that's okay. That's okay. It has nothing to do with anything. But the fact of the matter is, 2 kids and a wife no longer have access to their dad and their husband as a result of different beliefs. And me being a dad, that hits the most, because I know what my kid means to me, and with him having two kids, I can only imagine, and I'm sure his kids mean the absolute world to him. I mean, I've heard him say it. I've seen multiple videos. I'm sure his wife means the absolute world, and to know that those kids aren't going to have a dad to grow up with, um, it hits home. It hits home. I've had a range of emotions today, man. I get real emotional. Um, I've been real angry. I've been thankful, of course, um, but just an overall sense of discomfort, an overall sense of um, unrest. I didn't sleep good last night. You know, this is a big event, so of course I stayed up trying to learn more about it. Um, and as a result, I didn't sleep very good, and I just been just feeling real weird today. Um, of course, there's been celebrities who have passed before that have hit home, but for some reason, this one just hits a little bit harder, which is strange to me because I'm not. Like I said, I've heard of Charlie. I've seen his videos, but I wasn't like an avid like follower on social media or anything like that. If his videos popped up, I would definitely watch. Um, I really, really like the fact that he talked about God openly with people who don't know God. Um, so deeper than politics, that was the main thing that I connected with him on was just faith in general. And you know, I'm my opinion is that this man was very brave to be able to go to places around the U.S. where he knew that they didn't that maybe God wasn't promoted as much there, and he wasn't scared to go and share the message of God. I mean, he also shared his beliefs, but like I said, for me personally, it was the fact that he was open about his faith, um, that I connected with. But like I said, I'm just feeling like real uneasy today for some reason. You know, um, I start to think about the fact that this happened at a university, and surrounded by young adults. I think about the fact that, 15, 16 years from now, my kid is going to be at a university. And, I just wonder what that looks like. I wonder what that looks like for my kid. I wonder how this event here impacts um, the states, the freedoms that we get to live in. I wonder how this event impacts everything. Because this doesn't feel like a normal. I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, the guy was shot and killed. It's never okay. Anybody who ever uh, gets gets killed or murdered, like that's never okay, and it should always feel like that. But this just feels different. Um, there's something about it that feels off. Like this is a big event that could potentially change history in ways that we may not even understand yet. Um, and people that say, like, he opened himself up to face this sort of consequences, this and that. I understand. I get it. He had deep beliefs, he had strong beliefs, and he was very passionate and open. And maybe he did put his family at risk. But the fact of the matter is, just because you have different beliefs or think different or love different, look different than somebody else, should never, ever, ever result in somebody getting shot and killed in front of a crowd and plastered all over social media. It really irks me that while I understand, it's a big deal, and it should have, I'm glad that people got videos of it. What irks me is the fact that I I literally just opened up TikTok. I had no idea that it even happened yesterday until it was probably about 3 o'clock. I opened up TikTok and just to check because I had just posted a song on there that I was trying to promote, like I do almost every day. I open up TikTok to literally the first thing that I see is Charlie getting shot up close in the neck and him falling over and blood just spewing out of this man's neck. I remember back in the day, if you wanted to see even like autopsy photos of JFK or whatever it was, you had to go to like specific sites to see that shit. Um, Now, why you would do it, I don't know. But that was a big thing back in the day. But now, all you have to do is open up social media on your phone, and it's right there. It makes me think about the amount of kids, the amount of his family members, the amount of young adults and people all over the states. How many people saw that man die? And we're just supposed to keep living the same way? I mean, we literally watched this man die on fucking TikTok. And we're supposed to just wake up and just be okay. Just go on with our lives, go on with our day. What are we doing? How did we get here? How? It's real sad. Um, I feel like there's people out there that feed and profit off this type of shit. Just division in general. And one of the big things that I recognize now is just like the splitting up of family units. Back in the 90s, early 2000s, it was so crucial to live and be a family, you know? And if I'm being honest, it's real different and tough in 2025 to do that and maintain that. Family has always been so important to me and my wife. And, when you see families just getting destroyed, um, like the Kirk family, it just is real. Um, it's heartbreaking, to be honest with you. It's discouraging. It's heartbreaking. Um, like I said, I didn't relate to everything that he believed. A lot of things, yes, but not everything. But the biggest thing is the fact that he was a dad and as a husband, and he believed in God. Um, so to see another man my age get gunned down on social media, uh, it's tough. It's tough to watch, and it's tough to keep going on with life. And you know, if I were to want my kid to pick up on anything um, in the future when she sees this video, it would be to do everything you can with love and light to go into every room or environment or group of people with the intention of leaving that environment better than when you walked in. It would be to find people that look different than you, think different than you, love different than you, and get to know them. Just get to know them. You don't have to believe the way that they do. You don't have to love the same. You don't have to look the same, but get to know them. And I promise you, not only will you grow from it, but you might even find your best friend. You might even find somebody that you didn't know that you could love because of those differences. You know, when I was growing up, um, a big thing for me that I always liked to do was just make friends with everybody. If I tended to hang around the sports guys because I was always playing some sort of sport. But I realized very quickly that the people that were kind of like on the outskirts, it just seemed like I connected with those people a little bit more. Um, whether it was like through music or just culture or whatever. I just felt like I really connected with people that were different than everyone else, you know? And so that kind of stuck with me in fact, it still sticks with me to this day where, if I'm in an environment and I see somebody that may be on the outskirts looking in, and maybe they're kind of off to themselves, um, I try to seek those people out and make them feel a little bit better about themselves or just about the environment in general. Um, and this isn't look at me, look at what I do, but that's just kind of like a thing that's really stuck with me throughout life. And I feel like if more people were like that here in the states, maybe shit like yesterday wouldn't happen at least so frequently. And yeah, yeah, that's my take on it. Of course, life isn't perfect. Nobody is. But I strongly disagree with killing somebody or ending somebody's life over differences. You know, I think our country was founded on freedoms to be able to express yourself and believe certain things. And when that starts to get taken from us, what are we doing? Where are we headed? You know? One quote that's really stuck with me. I've been seeing it kind of go around, but it was basically I don't. This isn't word for word, but it's basically you know, the same thing that we teach our kids to speak out and speak up, and the same shit that we teach our kids to do, and we want our kids to grow up doing, is the same reason why Charlie got shot and killed yesterday. So, how do I approach my kid with that? You know, how as a parent do we teach our kids that it's okay to speak up and that you want to speak up even if it means costing your life? Um, it's just something I'm struggling with today. It's something that I know multiple other parents are struggling with, and I'm just like I said, it just feels real off today. Um, like it's real grim feeling, and it's not a good feeling. And I'm sure that our parents kind of felt times like this, but as kids, you don't really understand. You don't really feel it the way that you do as an adult, um, especially when you have kids now and you're looking out for them and not just yourself. And it's just it's a weird feeling. It's a heavy feeling. I haven't really felt like this since since maybe COVID 2020. But I definitely wanted to capture how I feel. I wanted to journal it out and kind of just get my thoughts out there. And I know it's probably just a lot of jumbled thoughts and maybe convoluted wording and this and that. But like I said, I wanted to speak straight from the heart. No script, no nothing. Just hit play on my phone and just talk. And this is the result. One thing I yesterday I got home and just sat in my car and I did write a little piece and I posted on Facebook, posted on TikTok and this and that. But I just was sad, man, just crying, and it. I feel like I don't. I feel like I haven't recently spent enough time with my kid. Um, that one-on-one time. Of course, we spend it as a family, but just one-on-one. So last night, it's probably about 7:30, 8 o'clock. I grabbed my dinner off the stove, and I took Nora outside, and we just sat there, and she loves to listen to music, so I let her play some Disney songs. But I asked her. I said, "Hey, can Daddy play you a song that I really like, or that really touches my soul?" And it happened to be a song that my mom and I danced to at my wedding, "Landslide" by Fleetwood Mac, and I put that song on, and we just I picked Nora up, and we just kind of danced in the yard, just sort of swayed while listening to that song, and it really made me thankful for just being a dad, and the fact that this little girl chooses to love me. She didn't ask to be here on this crazy world, but she was a result of love between two individuals, and it just really made me thankful, man. And it made me sad to think that you know I was thinking about Charlie and just him not getting to experience a moment like that with his kiddos anymore. Uh, but I thank Charlie for for giving my daughter and me uh, that moment. And while I was sad, it really kind of it opened my eyes to be just more thankful for her. And you know, if that's the one thing I can give my kid is just my presence, my thankfulness, my love. You know, I vow to do that. every chance I can, because we just never know. We never know when it's going to be our time. And yeah, I want my kid to know that every time I look at her, I just beam with love and joy. And even when we have tough times, even when we disagree, I think it builds our love and deepens our love, deepens our connection. And I think that the world should find somebody that they can experience that with. If they don't have kids, find somebody. Find a kid. Find a parent, a brother, a sibling, whatever, a cousin. Find somebody that you can love deeper, even when there's disagreements, even when there's tough times. But yeah. Sorry to ramble. I just really wanted to just pour my heart out. And if Nora looks back at this video, I want her to understand that even in the darkness, light can be found, love can be found, even in the darkest of times. And we can't let negative forces, we can't let evil, we can't let division end us. We can't let it stop us from being a family. Because when there's division in a family, those are the times when the family's supposed to come together. Let's get together. Let's form a plan of action that we can work through this. So we come out on the other side even stronger and filled with more love and grow as a family unit. And I don't know much about politics. I never did. But I do know about love. I do know that we're one big family, whether we like each other or not. And if we see each other as family, we need to find ways to love each other, to lift each other up, to work through problems and connect, find ways to connect, even when it feels like there's not ways, or even when you believe one way and I believe a different. You pray one way and I pray the other. You love one way, I love the other. You look one way, I look the other. We have to be able to find some sort of connection in order to move forward, in order to be a family. So, with that, I'll end it there. My thoughts and prayers go out to the Kirk family. My thoughts and prayers go out to anybody that's struggling right now mentally. My thoughts and prayers go out to anywhere in the world where there's violence, war, division, hate, you know. My thoughts and prayers go out to everybody. Everybody who's struggling right now. Because in the darkness we have to be able to see some sort of light, some sort of love. And I pray to God that God brings peace and love through these dark times. So, much love. We'll talk soon.